Okay guys, so we got Neil in from MaxVac here. Yeah, great piece of kit. It's obviously to take all your dust out of your air. There's a few different features on there. So Neil, do you want to explain a bit how this works?
Yeah, I'd love to. This is the MaxVac DustBlocker 650. So as Jamie explained, there's to take the dust out of the air. It's 650 cubic metres an hour. So you've got triple stage filtration through the front here, going through a fan in the unit, and on the back we have on-off switch. You've got a filter warning light, and we've got variable speed control. So what it does is it creates an air circulation in the room, make sure that any overspray, any dust, anything that you've got when you're in the decorating arena from prep work or actually painting is removed out of the air. So you end up with a better paint finish, you end up with a faster cleanup at the end of it, you end up with more customer recommendations, ultimately more profit. And this is what James is very concerned about with all the guys that he works with, is we want to work out ways that everyone he trains is on the cutting edge of things and make sure that every single person that comes through a Bode Decorators Training Centre is at the cutting edge of technology, make sure that they've got all the right equipment so they can go in, do a job to the best of their ability, and not only be a credit to them but also a credit to Jamie.
So we're obviously plugged at the moment to a 240 volt plug there, but you could actually run that off a 110 as well, can't you?
Yeah, you can do. So it's got a voltage sensing unit inside of it that will switch between 110 or 230. So as you turn the machine on, there will be a short delay. So it's just starting now. So as it senses the voltage that's going in, and then the machine will start. So it can work out exactly one. So whether you're in a domestic home, you're on site, no problem, the machine will carry on working.
Another feature as well that we went over a minute ago is if you're using something that, like a solvent, because obviously it's an air replacement using it, isn't it? So yep. It's replacing the air with whatever you're taking out, and it's blowing it out the side here. So if you're using something like a solvent base, which is smelly, you can actually vent out as well, so you can actually buy a duct in, which then that would fit onto the end of that. So then you can actually vent out of the room. If you use water based, obviously it's ideal just as it is, because you're already blowing the air back out, but obviously if you want to vent out, then you can actually vent it out from the ducting on this side also, which is very, very handy. The thing I like about it is that if you are using water based, then because it is replacing the air, you're not actually taking the heat out of the room. So if you were in an area like a small workshop or garage, then the air that you brought in would only be replaced again. So if you were pulling in hot air from this side, you'd be blowing it back out that side. So you're not actually taking any of the heat out of your workshop.
You're just removing the dust in the air. So anything that we're doing here, if it's got dust in the air or overspray, that's removed. The air is put out, which is right, as Jamie said, with the solvent. That's why we duct it, because whilst it's got a carbon filter in here, it helps to remove some of the odours. It won't remove every bit of solvent, so that's why it's ducted, so that you can take that out of the area.
So how many filters are in this?
There's 3 filters, but it's a 4-stage. So you have the G3 pre-filter, and the important thing here is it's protected by a metal grille, so whether it's in the back of your truck or van or on site, if it gets hit and damaged, not damaging the filters. We then have a G4 panel filter, and then here we have H14 filter this side and carbon this side. So you've got 3 filters but 4 stages. And the carbon is activated carbon, so that remove the smells. The H14 here will remove 99.997 of dust in the air. And then your G4 and G3 are the 2 filters that you replace the most often, protecting this filter, so you've got very, very low on costs.
What's the voltage on this unit?
The voltage is 110 or 230. So wattage wise, we're only using 180 watts. So very, very low usage.
Okay. No, sounds good. And also on the back here, you actually have a red light on the back here. So this is indicating there's a block actually in the filter. So that gives you the indication then that you either need to clean them out or change the filters at that point.
Ideally change them, as if you try and clean them, whilst you could clean them, every time you clean them, you never clean 100% of the dust out. So every single time you put back in, you might have a filter that's 80 to 90% effective. So whilst you could clean them out, and if you don't have any filters available, you can do. It's not recommended because you're reducing the capacity of the machine. So
as well, we actually have a speed regulator on the back here, don't we? So when would that come in handy to have a speed regulator on it?
So depending on the size of the room, you can either adjust the airflow accordingly, or most people have it so that when they're working, they have the machine on 100%, and then when they leave the room overnight, they'll turn it down to 50%, just so it's constantly just removing any dust that's in the air.
So you can leave these on safely overnight?
Yeah, 24/7, yeah.
Yeah, so if I was working in the workshop now, and it was dusty. Before I left, I could quite happily, safely leave that on overnight on
Yeah.
low voltage. So there's a few different models that they do in this style.
So this is the third machine in our range. We have a smaller unit called the DustBlocker 450, which is in a Tanos sustainer box. So that will clip onto any of the Festool systems. And then we have this one here at 650. We have a next one up at 900. There's a couple of others in between that aren't relating to this type of industry and airflows. And then we go all the way up to some big machines for using in factories and warehouses, things like that. But for the majority of the on-site works that are needed, the 650, the 450 and the 900 will be the three most common units.
Do they vary much in price between all three units?
The 450 is list price is 758 plus VAT, going up to the 650 here is 948 plus VAT, and then the 900 is around 1400 plus VAT. But with the 900 as well, you have far bigger filters as well, so you end up with more filtration area.
So basically, we've got dust for sanding, and now we've got dusters there.
Correct.
So the two together is going to be game changer, really, isn't
Complete game changer.
Okay, guys. So stay tuned for what's coming next. In the next few weeks, we're going to be trying this Zap model here in the academy and giving our feedback. Yeah, and cheers for watching.